I was thinking, okay, so.
He was thinking. Okay.
Yes, I was thinking, yeah.
And also, what, like, you know how you said you're a dude, do women not have needs as well? Like, that's the interesting thing with all these, like, oh yeah, like I'm cool with my male partner or man, like doing these things as long as I'm not embarrassed and whatever. Do you not have needs as well? Like, it's very like always this assumption that a non-monogamy or open can only benefit a man. And I feel like that's super archaic as well for me.
Well, maybe I'm being crude when I say this, but when I think about it, right, a non-monogamous relationship, if I was with a woman that says I want to be with you in a non-monogamous relationship, automatically as a man, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my mind goes to some carnal things. So, right? You know where I'm going with this, don't you, Michelle? My mind automatically goes to, okay, so we're not having sex raw because somebody else is putting their thing inside you, and I don't know where that person has been. I'm just being honest. I'm going to say, hold on. I'm going to say things that people don't think and don't want to say.
You should say it. You should be
all right?
honest.
Is his penis bigger than mine?
Right.
Is he pleasing you better than I'm pleasing you?
Yeah.
Is he doing all these, he's giving you orgasms, all these sexual things? These are things like that scene in The Best Man when Morris Chestnut finally decides to marry her and she's walking down the aisle and he's like, and he closes his eyes and he keeps on seeing Taye Diggs have sex with her because he decided to swallow that his best friend had sex with his future wife in college and marry her and get over that, right? Because he was cheating at the time, right? So he's like, but men are very visual. So he kept on having those visual images in his head like, oh God, I just need to get over seeing him have sex with her. All the way down to the very details, right? So that's the first thing, and I'm just speaking for myself, but I would think other men out there think like that too. I would think other women think like that. Like, okay, so non-monogamous means, and you see all these things. And I can't help but feel, right? I can't help but feel that eventually, you would begin to harbor some sort of resentment after a while. I'm sitting across from the dinner table from you, and I knew you got in from seeing Tim, and I'm eating my rice and chicken. And I'm like, what did Tim do for you? Did Tim please you? You know what I'm saying? Because especially if you and I have issues in the bedroom, especially if one night you're sleeping and I roll over and I try to kiss you, you're like, oh, not right now. And I'm like, did you tell Tim that?
That's because Tim put it down. That's Tim put it down and she don't need you no more.
Yeah. So that's what I think when I hear I'm like, God, that's so stressful.
Okay, but on the flip side, so now what if Tim is providing a different experience that this person needs that you might not be willing to or want to?
Or capable
of, right?
See what he just said?
Or capable of, like,
or
no
capable
one can
of
be,
is
that's the thing.
Or capable of is a slap
but
to
no
a man.
one can be everyone's.
I totally
that's how I
agree
feel.
with you.
So like, okay, what if they can't? But then they are still committed to you, and they don't want to throw away the amazing companionship that you have otherwise.
Because they
pay
for
came.
The rent, you pay for the groceries.
Oh my God! They came back to the dinner table.
So let me just role play this out.
Choice.
Let me role play this out. I'm at dinner and they're like, how's it going with Michelle? Oh, it's going good, man. You know what I'm saying? So I heard you guys are in like a non-monogamous relationship. Yeah, man. Alzo he provides things for her that I can't provide. And I'm okay with that, you know?
Why you talking like that, bro? You don't talk like that. You already
all right, Alzo, he just do things for, you know what I'm saying, that I can't do.
You don't talk like that
I'm
either.
cool with that. I'm just in the middle.
This is a hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You're saying that, and that's very progressive and forward thinking, and bravo. Yes, I agree. But I'm telling you, I feel as though you can't escape, and you use the Will Smith example, which is an excellent example. They've been doing this for God knows who long.
Yeah.
Since I've been out of high school, I've heard about this.
Probably
a long time. But eventually, I probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about, right? So I'm just making assumptions because, like Alzo said, that's all the public sees. But it seems as though eventually it got to Will. It broke him in some way when it got out to the public, and then people had their various opinions, and then he's sitting at the Oscars, and then Chris cracks a joke like a comedian cracks a joke, and he's like, man, I'm tired of this fucking disrespect. But it all leads back to the choice that they made earlier in their relationship.
Right. But that's respectability politics, though, that is making him feel that way, right?
Very true.
Where he feels like he needs to uphold a certain type of masculinity and have a certain front-facing image of marriage and a partnership with his wife, but like they are still together. Like, that's the thing. Like, she can be with other people, he can be with other people, but they still make that choice, not obligation, the choice to return back to each other and continue the partnership that they've had for all these years.
I actually think there probably more people that would subscribe to non-monogamy than not. But this culture in America is not structured to support that.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's already difficult enough to be in a monogamous relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then you talking about because in monogamy is, you know, that's rooted in, you know, this like marriage puritanism, all of that, when pilgrims came across, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Christianity, all of that stuff, which we know can be toxic in so many ways, right? But that is the structure. That's the foundation here. And so even if your monogamous relationship is not working, you're still celebrated for it. You're celebrated.
That blows my mind. That blows my mind.
Yeah, you're celebrated for it in the law. You're celebrated for it with taxes, you know, with buying a home, like all of this. So the structure is set up to support monogamous relationships. So then when you're talking about non-monogamy, just the legal structure is not set up for that, let alone like the moral structure.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
You know,
I totally agree.
And so, and another point I wanted to underscore, you said this idea of ownership in relationships.
Oh, it's deep rooted.
Man, that I feel like is where a lot of the toxicity is rooted in.
Yes.
Yeah.
People feel like they need to own someone.
Yes. I mean, I wish there was another
to be with them.
I wish there was another way to speak about like your partner, like instead of mine. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But that's also why I switched to partner too, because I felt like honestly, like boyfriend, girlfriend, my man, you know, some it's a bit like, and words mean things. Some people are like, oh, these are just words, but even the way we describe the relationship, like a partnership implies an equality of two partners. For me, like boyfriend, girlfriend, then we start to default into like, I own this person in this way, you own me in this way.
So if someone says, that's my man, that's my woman, that automatically to you is like, that's a touchy thing, because it implies that, you know, you have some sort of ownership over them. Even if they were happy with it. I'm playing devil's advocate here. Even if both parties
but that's
in the
not what I
situation
was
were happy
saying.
with it.
I'm just saying the root of it is that, like, it doesn't mean that when people say it, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
it doesn't
saying?
necessarily mean it, but it's rooted in that, right?
Hey guys, I need to take a break for our sponsors really quick.
Who? I ain't getting paid for this.
Oh yeah, well I am. You know,
hell no.
You know, for a long time I'd have really flaky skin, right? I would wash my face with regular soap.
Is this real?
And yeah, I'd have dead
Who's the
skin.
sponsor?
Huh? I'm about to show you right now. I'd have dead skin.
Right.
Can I get it off? I'd have dead skin falling off my face, and it bothered me for a long time. Sometimes I'd be at the coffee shop in Echo Park, and people would be like, "Ha, he has dead skin on his face," and it made me feel some type of way.
What is some type of way? What emotion is that?
I feel that way when people say, I'm like, what is the type of way?
What emotion is that?
Some type of way is it hurt me that people felt like the dry skin on my face was vile.
So just say that instead of saying
it hurt me that people felt like the dry skin on my face was vile until I got African black soap.
Oh.
Yes.
Bro, that ain't that sponsor.
Can I get it off?
Is it, bro?
Yeah.
On your, hey, give me your word that this is real.
Let me get this off. Jeez Louise. African black soap helped clean all the dead skin on my face and made me feel bright and clear, as you can see. African black soap, kill the dead skin on your face. What were you saying about non-monogamous relationships?
Oh, I think we were talking about ownership and like Alzo was talking about how people feel like they need to own someone. And like, I do think that is really rooted in monogamy as well. Like, do you know who Esther Perel is?
Yes.
She's like, I love her. Yeah. But one thing she says is that like in our quest for closeness, we often extinguish the ingredients that we need for desire. And that's absence. Because sometimes when people are dating someone, they feel like they need to own them. They need to like know everything about them. They need to like see them every day. They need this like, and honestly, that does lead to a decrease in eroticism in your relationship. Yeah. Because there's no longing, you know? And I think that is tied to ownership as well.
Now, would you agree that there are people out there that exist that want to be around each other every day, and there is no decrease in eroticism, and they just are fine with the way it is? Or you would say no, that's not the way it is?
So I always wonder about those people. I'm like, how do they do that?
Yeah.
But because I also just like, I like a lot of alone time, and I think that the more time, there's a point of spending time with someone where I feel like diminishing returns, where like more time isn't necessarily better time. Like quantity doesn't always equal quality. I think there are some people, but I always wonder if that's rooted in more that they're afraid that this person might run away from them, you know, or are they afraid that like if they don't, because for me, when I was in monogamous relationships, I did feel this pressure, like I had to be at every event that this person wanted me to go to, or like, hey, I'm going out with my friends and like we have to go as a couple. Like I felt like there was a desire and like an obligation to the other person to like mesh with their life as their girlfriend. And I didn't want to do that. Like I do value my individuality. I value my autonomy. And I really did want a relationship that felt more like equal, like parts versus me enmeshing into someone else's life. And I do think as women, it is a lot more expected for the woman to enmesh into the man's life than the opposite, which is hard for me. But this is what I've seen in society and my own relationships, that I'm supposed to be going into your life, but like you're not, you could still have your own life, if that makes sense. Like I, as the woman, like, if you're a man and your job takes us here, I'm going to be moving with you.
Yeah.
But it's never the other way.
So Alzo,
I sometimes feel like there are men that operate that way.
No, there are men, but
I feel like I've been with relationships where that was kind of an unspoken expectation.
Yeah.
I'm not at all. That sound was not me negating your experience.
Yeah.
But it was like, I 1000% believe that. I mean, I've seen it where, from the outside looking in, at least, relationships that are monogamous and folks are over the moon for each other.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to what we were saying around communication. So I am not a person who wants to be with a woman who always needs to be under me.
Yeah.
That's great.
Like I really appreciate the freedom of solitude. And so, but there's nothing wrong with a woman like that.
Yeah.
That woman is just not for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've seen relationships where, it's like folks be sitting at a dinner table and they don't need to talk to each other.
Yeah.
They be sitting in the same room.
Yeah.
One reading the newspaper, the other one watching the TV, and they don't say two words to each other. But they understand that this is how we operate and this is how we engage one another and this is where our love exists, and an understanding that we don't have to be underneath one another. We don't have to operate as if we own the other person, And I also think with the pervasiveness of like social media and reality TV, like, people say art imitates life imitates art, whatever. It's like it's almost people will be in a healthy monogamous relationship, and when it's healthy, they're like, wait a minute, this too good to be true.
Yes.
Let me do something to fuck this up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me something's wrong. Let me look in your phone at your text messages.
Well, that comes from some sort of self-loathing and we're not good enough. I don't deserve this.
And insecure.
Yeah, because I feel like whether it's a monogamous relationship or non-monogamous, some of those issues will still
be there.
Yeah, if you have insecure like feelings around relationships and vulnerability and intimacy, they're going to happen in a non-monogamous or monogamous relationship. And it's interesting because the picture you just painted, I see that as a secure relationship where two people could sit and not speak to each other. But I've seen other people perceive that as there's something inherently wrong with that. Like, they're like, they're not connected. I know. I always think that's interesting. Like especially if you live with someone, are you going to be speaking to them all day long?
But couldn't we say that on the flip side too, that I've seen people judge people that are all over each other. I've been in situations where I've seen couples all over each other, and people feel a certain type of way about that as well.
But
why are they all over each other?
Back to what you were saying, there's also like the societal thing that like relationships are supposed to be work.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's very true.
So I'll get on that. I want to respond to what you all were saying. Both of your points were from the perspective of the person perceiving their relationship. I ain't worried about them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if the couple's all up on each other and they fine with that,
Yeah.
and that's healthy for them,
Yeah.
so be it.
Yeah.
If the people not talking to each other for 5 hours at home in the same house,
So be it.
and that's healthy for them, so be it. Who give a damn about what others perceive?
Yeah.
Right? But I do recognize that people's perception presents pressure.
It's
And
pressure,
so,
yeah.
But if your relationship is not healthy and in the least bit vulnerable, then you may succumb to that pressure. And that's what I'm saying. Outside influences where you looking on Instagram and you see our relationship goals and this and that.
Oh my God, the
Yes.
relationship goals.
And if
Yes.
your stuff ain't looking like
Yes.
that, then you
Yes.
feel like yours is a failure. But actually yours is healthy.
Yes.
Yours is
Why are
healthy.
you
Yours
not
is healthy.
posting
Yes.
me?
You know what
Why
I'm
are you
saying?
not?
Oh,
Why are you
man.
liking these pictures of these other girls? And then you like, and that the Will Smith thing, I feel was a result
About
of
Will
that,
Smith.
right? You
Yeah,
know?
I think that.
It's the
I
truth, right? It's
I
the
think
truth.
they
It's a result
they
of
may
that, the
have caved to
outside
pressure.
pressures.
I think outside pressure did that, and
Yeah.
I actually hate the hashtag relationship goals.
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
creating goals for two people that you don't know personally.
Don't know.
And
Man, listen.
they're posting the highlight reel. Do you think they are actually going to tell you about the inner workings of their relationship? And then people are so shocked. And the thing is,
It's
people are so
sore spot.
shocked
Real.
when the relationship doesn't work out. When honestly, in so many monogamous relationships I know, especially in the Black community, like I'm West Indian. A lot of the male people in my family have been out here. Like their monogamy is not monogamy, right? Like, but they don't want to talk about that.
That's true.
Yeah, like come
That's
on,
true.
you know West Indian
West
people,
Indian,
right? So,
yeah.
so to me, it's interesting that people are more comfortable pretending to be monogamous, and then like, okay, there's some asterisks here, and we're gonna just do side stuff, and versus like, okay, then I'm judging people who are like open about non-monogamy when like a lot of people are not
Right.
they're not even practicing what they preach in their
Yeah.
monogamous relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the record, I don't think monogamy is natural.
Interesting. I
But
agree
you're
with that
monogamous,
too.
aren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
But but just because it's unnatural doesn't mean that it's wrong or impossible.
I agree with that too.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I think humans flying is unnatural.
Yeah.
But I could get on a plane right now and be in New York in 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's not natural.
Yeah.
But to your point, it takes work.
Takes work, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the idea of relationships taking work, which I think they do, but also think being single takes work too. 'Cause,
So what made you choose to be monogamous?
got a bad one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Got a top-notch stinger.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even there have been conversations around like this idea of ownership. You know what I'm saying? In my relationship, and we don't agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, but this thing of there's a comedian, I can't remember his name. This is a joke. This is an old joke, but he says like married people, when they try to sell you on marriage, if any other product was sold the way that they try to sell it, you would never buy it.
That's hilarious.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
man, look. Now I'm gonna tell you, when you get in it, it's gonna take some work for it to run right. It ain't gonna never be perfect.
Yeah.
It's never gonna operate in the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
And it's gonna take time for you to get like,
Like, you can keep that, bro. I don't want that. I don't want that. That sounds like a
And
mess.
then you need to spend a lot of money to
yeah,
solve it.
yeah, exactly.
When you are
it's
no
cheaper
longer,
to
yeah.
keep us.
Cheaper to keep her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very good framing.
I do think marriage is kind of silly.
I agree.
Like the fanfare and the pomp and circumstance around marriage, like how much money it costs to get married and
Yeah.
how these fantastical weddings, these fantasy weddings, people taking out loans to get married, they divorce before the loan is paid off.
Yeah.
You know, the idea that till death do us part, that don't make no sense.
It doesn't. Yeah.
That don't make sense.
It
like,
doesn't.
I I commit to you today. I commit to be the best version of me for you today, and I hope that this will continue for the rest of my days. But we are two individual people. We are two different people that may grow apart. And if we grow apart, hopefully it's amicable and we could go our separate ways and still be cool and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there be no venom. But the reality of the matter is, like you stated earlier, is that you got your own brain, your own mind.
Yeah.
I am not the same person now that I was 10 years ago.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is good.
It's healthy to
And-
not be the same person.
Right. And so most people I grew up around, they get married around 28, 29, 30. But I was 30, 17 years ago. I'm pretty certain that if I had gotten married in my late 20s, I'd be divorced.
I mean, I got married at 25, and I got divorced. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Because you don't know yourself.
Because you don't know yourself. I didn't know what I was doing. I have a question for you, Michelle.
Yeah.
But when we talk about being non-monogamous, and you say you have two partners,
Yeah.
in my head, in my realm, dealing with one individual is a lot. Is enough. Or this, that. Did you do this? I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm like, I'm scavenging. I'm scrambling. I'm like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do that. Dealing with two different individuals and two different personalities, I'm assuming would be doubly daunting. Is it not? Or you just extract what you need from this person and extract what you need from the other person and think nothing of it?
So before you answer that, understand where this is coming from. He probably got a history of dealing with some raggedy ass partners.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So dealing with one of them raggedy ass partners was too much, let alone two. You gotta understand, Michelle don't be dealing with them folks that you used to be dealing with.
Thank you for that translation, Alzo Slade.
I mean, you're not wrong. It takes two partners that can communicate openly and transparently, which I do have.
Yeah.
And my relationships look very different than I think any monogamous relationship, even if you looked at each one individually. I do spend most of my time alone, honestly. Like, I need a lot of alone time to like recover from living in a world where that's not built for me, and I'm autistic.
Yeah.
I have sound sensitivity. I have food sensitivities. Like, just being alive is a very hard task for me.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would actually be setting someone up for failure to like live with someone full time, or like for someone to be near me 24/7, 365, because I would not have that alone time that autistic people do need to like deal and cope with the pressures of the world. So I feel like I can make enough space for two people because I don't have any one person that's like fully with me 24/7, 365. So it's just like how you have time to see more than one friend.
Yeah.
Right? Like I kind of treat my relationships that way too, where it's like, okay, like my partnerships are no different than me maintaining multiple friendships. So it might not look like, oh, we're going to see each other every day, but we can pick a cadence that works for both of us.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
And so there's not one that you favor more than the other. You can be honest.
Oh my God.
You can be honest, Michelle.
No, there's not, because they both are very different people and
Yeah.
they offer different things to me. And they have different perspectives. They're, not just sexually, just different perspectives, period. Yeah, like as people, just like,
I just had to ask. I just had to
It's
ask.
like, do you have a favorite friend? Like, you might have a best friend, sure.
Yeah, I
but
have
then,
some friends that I like. There's guys, plenty of friends I like over Alzo.
okay, sure, yeah. So you have a best
I
friend.
don't even know why you consider me a friend, because I don't consider you to be one.
Now, if you have a best friend, you feel so connected to that person. Do you have no other friends now? Does that friend meet every friendship need of yours? Like, that's not realistic, right? So it's no different than that. Like,
Yeah.
I think relationships and friendships are not that different too, by the way.
So
I think people put one over the other, but they should be equal.
So
Yeah.
Michelle,
I agree.
so one of the reasons you mentioned for your non-monogamous lifestyle was that there's no one person that could satisfy your needs.
Yeah.
You have two people. So does that mean there are two people can satisfy your needs, or is there a limit to how many people that you are willing to be in a relationship with in order to satisfy all of your needs?
Yes. So for me, I feel like that limit is two people because I know my personal capacity. This is why, like, I would not be in a in a partnership or a polyamorous partnership with someone who doesn't know their capacity. Because I know mine really well, and I have to, because I am autistic. I consider myself a disabled person. I have to like manage my energy levels very carefully. And I know that I can fit 2 people, and more than that would be unrealistic. Now that number might be higher for other people. For someone who is more outgoing than me, I'm an introverted person. For someone who thrives on going out and socializing, like that number could be 5 maybe. I know my number is 2 maximum. Yeah.
I think it possible that there's not a soulmate, right? They're like when people talk about, oh, there's one person for you. I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either. Yeah.
I believe in that.
Oh,
really?
Did you think
Wait,
your
hold
first?
on, stop. Did she
Sorry.
just?
Did
she just hit me with the? Oh,
that was pity.
No, it's not pity. I think it's not pity. It's like, I think that's a really beautiful, idealistic idea.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not even trying to be snarky.
And you know what?
But did you think your first partner or your first marriage was your soulmate?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you didn't. Okay,
No, I didn't.
okay.
So you don't believe that. You don't believe. Hold on, let me say this. You don't believe that. That's so cute, old Neil. and Alzo, you don't believe that comes from a jaded experience that we may have had time and time again in relationships that make us say, man, I don't believe no damn
No,
soulmate.
I don't think I'm jaded at all. I think this is realistic.
So
yeah.
you've dated a lot of people.
I don't know what you mean when you say that, Alzo.
I mean, you've been.
What does that mean when you say that,
Let's
Alzo?
say more than one.
You a grown ass man,
More
so
than
you've
one,
been
yes.
you've been in relationships.
More than one, yes, Alzo.
How many times have you been in love?
Huh?
Oh my god.
Okay, so I hate expressing myself. Oh, I'm such a guy.
Nah, don't let him off. Let him sit in it.
Okay. Yeah, sit in it.
So here's the thing.
This is a safe space, by the way. There's no judgment.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's them I'm worried about. Listen, to be honest with you, ask the question again. What'd you say? What was the question?
How many times have you been in love?
I have thought that I was in love many times, and I had thrown that out there. And the more experiences that I gained, and the older that I got, I realized that it became a conversation piece, just a word to throw out, just some cliche statement that there was nothing true behind it. Yeah. I just would say it because I saw other people say it.
That's the obligation there too.
Which is the obligation, right?
So none of the people that you've dated up until now.
Man, wait till we do jiu-jitsu on Tuesday. Wait till we do jiu-jitsu on Tuesday.
We're doing it on Monday.
Monday.
So none of the people you've dated up to this point you considered to be the one.
No.
But you believe in A1.
Yeah.
But A1, just one. Period.
I just believe that there's someone that you can gel with, that your soulmate, that you just like you get me, you understand me.
You think that's
you get me,
but you understand one of that person.
So you think there's only one of that person?
No, you just said soulmate. I didn't say. No. I don't know if there's a million of them. I don't know. I just know that you have someone that you gel with.
We didn't say that there was no soulmate.
Why are we naming the number of soulmates? So that
that was the initial question.
Well, when
I
you
didn't know
say
that.
there's a soulmate, that's a singular number. So I'm thinking like.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't. My mind didn't even think like that.
It's singular.
Man,
so.
you know. At the
bro, why you sweating? Why you sweating?
Because I want to make sure I word it correctly.
That nose ring getting greasy.
Hey, y'all ain't never go. This is not gonna be 3 black guys on the couch.
Oh my God.
No, I do believe in it, man. I believe in the soulmate. I do. And the reason why I'm hesitant, I'm stuttering, because I know the world might view it as cliche and corny, but I do believe that, man. I really believe that. I believe that there. I'm going to answer the question. I believe that there's that person for you.
Right, but do you believe that there's only one soulmate?
Okay.
Do you believe that there's only one soulmate for you?
I've never given that really much thought.
But this is I'm beseeching you.
If I'm yes.
You think there is more?
I do. I believe that
only one.
No, I believe that. I believe there's just only one.
So the pressure for that is immense, then.
Well, but here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Think about what you just said. You said the pressure for that is immense, which means you're assuming and insinuating that a person that believes in a soulmate, or that one soulmate, one singular thing, is driving around like.
No.
I think it's as easy as being in a zone. When you don't think about it and you handle your business and you do everything you're supposed to do and you take care of Michelle's business, O'Neill's business, Alzo's business, that thing just falls into your lap.
Okay, that's really healthy mindset, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it falls in your lap.
Okay.
As opposed to, are you my soulmate?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, she
No,
likes
absolutely.
cookies and apples.
I think that's-
she eats Oreos at 9 p.m. I eat Oreos
All right,
at
we
9
get
p.m.
it.
I ain't never met a motherfucker that ate Oreos at 9 p.m.
I feel like he just continue to talk because he don't want the next question.
No, go ahead. Next question.
So if you believe you found your soulmate at 35 and God forbid your soulmate gets in a car accident and dies. So does that mean you will never for the rest of your life find another person that is a soulmate?
Well, Alzo, duh. Their spirit transfers into another person.
Oh,
Boom.
jeez. Okay,
Duh, Alzo.
This is okay. Well,
Next question. That was easy.
I mean, that's a very spirit. I guess me and you are rooted in more logical.
Are you serious?
Clearly,
Are you
guys.
serious?
I'd love to give you an answer, but
Are you serious?
unfortunately, look at that. We're out of time. This has been another episode of 3 Black Guys on the Couch.
Bro, it is 2 black guys and a dope ass black
But I'm about
woman.
to say, hold
Thank
on.
you.
This has been another episode of 3 Black Guys on the Couch, but it's 2 black men and 1 beautiful, amazing black woman. Thank you,
you.
Michelle,
Thank you.
for coming on.
Yeah.
Alzo, thank you so much. I'll see you on Monday morning at 5 a.m. I can't wait. This has been 3 Black Guys on the Couch. Thank you. Like
Okay.
and please subscribe.
That was fun. Yeah. Sorry. I hope you weren't like feeling uncomfortable. Okay.
Yeah, he felt uncomfortable.